All right, welcome to the next episode of the Bangor Daily News Sports Show. I'm your host, Adam Robinson, with my co-host, Larry Mahoney. And it's just about tournament time. We are recording this on Friday. There are a few games for both boys and girls that teams had to make up at the last second here. Past the last second, I thought.
Yeah,
It's
they have. Yeah,
Thursday.
they extended it a day because of all the cancellations and postponements. And
Yeah.
But I mean, here we are. We're back in the 2/3 regime.
Yeah.
In the past, obviously, with the COVID during the COVID years, everyone made it. But now we're back to 2/3, and some teams are unfortunately left out. But we're ready to go.
Yeah.
Tournaments are ready to go. It's arguably the best time of year.
Yeah,
around.
it is.
It really
It's
it's the best time of year. I love it. It's just to see these communities all come down and support their teams. It's wonderful. And there's always every tournament's memorable. Even if it's just one or two upsets or individual performances, and that's what we're looking forward to next week.
Yeah, no, it's my favorite time of year, and it's what got me into this business. So let's get cracking here, Larry, on the northern regions of all the classes. We have a pretty good idea in some classes, and other classes there's a couple different things that might change tonight, but we've got a good gist of things, how things are going.
Yeah, like Adam mentioned too, with the games tonight, they impact. Some of them will be impactful, and again, with the heel points, not just that game, but other games that go on impact also.
Right.
Like if you got a win over a team and that team loses, and that team's not worth as much, so your point total won't elevate or whatever. So
Exactly.
final heel points will be tomorrow, Saturday. They were supposed to be today, but because of the extra day to make up games. So anyway, we'll start with AA North. Pretty much all year it's been a 3-horse race between Oxford Hills, Cheverus, and Bangor. That's exactly how they finished. Oxford Hills is the top seed, and they will again they will play, I believe, Lewiston.
Yes.
Yeah, the 8th seed. And then again, Bangor in the 3 spot will play Deering. Deering just beat Scarborough to finish its regular season, only lost by 8 to Bangor during the regular season. So that could be a test. And then Wyndham and Hampden Academy are in the 4-5 spot. Wyndham finished with 73 points, Hampden Academy 64. Wyndham beat Hampden. So that will be an interesting matchup. Again, Wyndham, the 4-5 matchups are usually, the most intriguing of the first round. But I mean, you've got a Deering team that, again, 4-14, but they, again, anything can happen. Bangor's 15-3, coming off an impressive win over Brewer last night. Obviously, Class A Brewer finished 6-12, but again, Bangor's full court press. Abby Quinn, Emmy Streams again leading the way. Abby Quinn leads the Class AA North rebounding, Emmy Streams in assists, and second in steals. But Oxford Hills is a team to beat. I mean, just because they've got Ella Pelletier inside, they've got Sierra Carson outside, they've got Corbett, Darren Berger. I mean, they've got
everybody.
They've just got more scoring balance.
Yes.
They have 4 or 5 girls. They got a girl come off the bench too, a freshman that can come off the bench. And that, I mean, again, now Cheverus, you got the big 2. I mean, you got 2 all-staters. You got Maddie Fitzpatrick and you got Emma Lazard. So in games, tournament games, a lot of times the stars elevate. They take games over, and especially Fitzpatrick is capable of doing so. If the seeds go the way they are, then Oxford Hills will end up playing Wyndham. But again, that Hampden-Wyndham game should be competitive. Cheverus and Bangor win their quarterfinals. They would meet in the semifinals. They met once. The first game of the season, Bangor won, but Cheverus was integrating a lot of new players.
I feel like they're a different team now.
They are, and they're the only team to beat Oxford Hills.
Yeah.
And they still have Lazat and Fitzpatrick are game chambers. But Bangor, as I said from day one, if they can shoot outside, they had 8 threes last night. They had 12 threes in a game a week ago. If they can hit outside shots so that teams can't collapse in on Abby Quinn in the paint, then they become dangerous, and they press. He's playing 7 or 8 players, and they'll force you into a high tempo.
Yep.
But yeah, I again, this is, as far as I'm concerned, this is Oxford Hills to lose. But Cheverus is right there, and Bangor is a legitimate dark horse
Yep.
in the 3 spot.
Yeah.
AA North, boys.
Sweet. So at the top of AA North boys, it's Oxford Hills also.
Oh,
And they have Tegan Pelletier, Ella Pelletier's
brother.
brother.
Yep.
And I think he's pound for pound best player in AA, maybe the state. He's a junior, can score everywhere. We also have Portland finished in the 2 spot. They'll play Wyndham most likely again. And then Lewis and Edward Little, they had their season finale last night in the last game of Edward Little's gym before the new school.
Oh, good.
Yeah, and they beat Lewiston on a buzzer beater. So
And then they're matched up again.
Yeah, exactly.
That happens a handful of times. That should be fun.
Yeah,
As they're rivals anyway.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. And then Cheverus Hamden, which I saw them play up at Hamden this year. And Hamden was without Brandon Butterfield, their point guard who leads AA in assists. He's back. Hamden's playing really well. They beat Lewiston in overtime a couple days ago, and Zach McLaughlin, who brothers with Bella McLaughlin on the girls' side, he scored 38. So he's playing really well, and he's a really good scorer. So he can take them as far as he wants. So that'll be a really good matchup. Cheverus Hamden, Lewiston EL. That's what we got in Class AA.
Should Portland have any trouble with Wyndham?
No, I don't think so.
Okay,
I think
all right.
Portland is
So you got 2 pretty secure, Oxford Hills and Portland,
Yep.
pretty much in the semis.
right.
And then you got 2 toss-ups in the next 2.
Right. And then if you look at, Lewiston and Portland would be a good matchup. Oxford Hills, Cheverus would be a really good matchup. They played each other close this year. So
Okay.
I'm really excited to see how this AA turns out.
And those first round games are on home courts.
Yes.
And then they go to Portland as with the girls.
Yep, exactly. So all right, Class A girls, what do you got?
Class A girls, Gardner won the rematch with Lawrence.
Mhm.
They had beaten them at Gardner by 4. They came from behind
Yeah.
to beat Lawrence. So they go at 18-0, and they've got a young Brewer team that's scrappy. I mean, they won't have any problems with Brewer, but Brewer's a team that I think Chad Labrie, the first year coach, done a real nice job with them. They've improved quite a bit.
Yeah.
And they've got a lot of players coming back, and so I think, this is not going to be the year, but I mean, they'll go in there and they'll compete. And the one advantage they have is they just played Bangor, and
Yeah.
Bangor, I mean, has very much the same components as Gardner. I mean, Gardner has Lizzie Gruber, a great inside player who's going with 1,000 points, 1,000 rebounds. She's
Yeah.
going to St. Peter's,
St. Joe's.
St. Joe's in Philadelphia. That's
yeah.
correct. So, and of course, Abby Quinn is having a heck of a year
Right.
for Bangor. So,
So
I mean, they'll, they did play a team, probably the best team on their schedule in Bangor, and now they play Gardner. So, maybe, again, Gardner will win. And then after that, I mean, it's Lawrence and Coney.
Yeah.
In the 2 and 3 spots. I don't see, Coney's 14-4, Lawrence 15-3, but like I said, I've said it, and I just don't see anybody upsetting either team. I think Gardner and Lawrence is going to be your final. Lawrence, of course, is Hope Bouchard, Gardner with Gruber, and a real good supporting cast. And Hope Bouchard is one of many good. Gardner's got a good supporting cast too. So it'll be a challenge for Gardner if they get to the final with Lawrence, because they will have to beat them a 3rd time.
Yeah.
Always tough to beat a team 3 times, but that's the way it's looking right now. And I don't see anything. It's hard for me to see. I know Coney has played well down the stretch, and they would be the dark horse. But
they played Gardner, I think, in the overtime.
Yeah.
A week or 2 ago. Yeah.
So they're the one team that could upset the apple cart. But Gardner Lawrence, I see as a final.
Right. Gotcha. All right. So Class A boys. Also wanted to give a shout out. I'm going to get into Brewer Skowhegan on the boys side, but Jenna McQuarrie for Brewer. I wanted to shout out her. She hit 2 free throws at the end of the Brewer Skowhegan game with no time left.
Yes.
Going into it down 1, made both of them and won the game.
That's clutch.
Yeah.
And they had won 2 in a row before they lost to Bangor last year.
Yeah.
So again, they're on a positive vibe right now. And They're 6-12 right now, but I mean, they're making strides. I mean, they're trending in the right direction. A lot of good young players. So, I mean, they'll be better next year wherever they
Yeah.
are. Because, again, we're still that reclassification. We still don't know what's going to come
Yeah.
of that. We just don't know who's going to be where. And,
Right. There's supposed to be a meeting on the 14th on
Yep.
Tuesday. So, yeah, we'll see what everything looks like next year. But all right. So the boys, Brewers at the top, but no longer undefeated.
Yep.
They lost at home to Skowhegan last week after our video, which it was just a phenomenal game.
Yep.
Skowhegan seems like they're healthy now, which is what their coach was saying, that they're healthy and they're kind of gelling and they can use their size. Adam Savage was everywhere.
And then the Twins.
And then the Twins.
They and then they have like four, right? 4 or 5 that are at least 6'4".
Yeah.
I mean,
a lot of size.
A ton of size.
And Brewer doesn't have tall kids. They've got strong kids, but Ryder Goodwin and Cam Hughes, their big men don't match up height wise. So that was a problem for them. And Adam Fitzgerald for Skowhegan hit 4 threes in the first half and gave them an early lead, and they hung on to that.
He's good. He did that.
Yeah.
I saw him against Bangor, and he did that. Yeah, he comes off the bench, and then so the whole question for them is can they get the ball to the bigs?
Yeah, exactly.
Brewer, I'm sure it's going to pressure their guards.
Yeah,
and make it difficult for them. Try to create a tempo. I would assume Brewer's going to run them.
Yeah,
they're going to try to create a fast tempo to get up the court before the bigs get up the court. But again, we're jumping to conclusions. Is there anybody? Do you see anybody else with legitimate shot to knock either one of those two off, or do you think it's a Brewer-Skowhegan final?
Well, I mean, Mount Blue has Evan Sterling, but I don't think that they have the firepower to get with Skowhegan and Brewer. They play Camden Hills tonight, which could adjust some things. I'm not too sure. I don't think they'll get the third spot from Skowhegan, but we'll see. Nokomis also with Madden White, they've played well as of late. But I think that Brewer Skowhegan game the other day kind of confirmed that preseason coaches poll that had Skowhegan and Brewer right at the top. I think those are the two teams. But I'm excited to see them in Augusta, and that will be, I think it's a pretty deep tournament, and I think it will be a whole lot of fun. So all right, Class B girls.
Well, we've been saying it all year. Again, 3-horse race in my estimation. Old Town, Caribou, Ellsworth. Ellsworth, MDI was playing very well and really coming on, and then they played Ellsworth. Ellsworth beat them 78-49. So I think I can't see anybody. I can't see anybody other than those three. 2 of those 3 will be in the final. Old Town has had a couple close games, but they're undefeated. So I think Old Town, they've got Sage Evans inside, Gabby Cody outside. They got Michaela Emerson. Alexis DeGrasse is a really good player. Taylor Loring, a freshman, long-armed, really good defender, and she can also score. She's been a real nice addition. So I think they're the team to beat. But Caribou and Ellsworth, again, they've had close games with each of those 2 teams. Caribou has a Dupre girl, and
Madeline Dupre,
Madeline Dupre, awesome. And then Jaffrey for Ellsworth. So,
Mm-hmm.
and they also have good support cast. Now Caribou has 2 wins over Ellsworth, both close. So that'll be interesting. That should be an interesting matchup. But no, I just don't see anybody else. There are other teams that have had good seasons they have, but I don't think they have. First of all, they don't have the star power. Sage Evans was the player of the year in B North last year, and again, very athletic inside player, but she can run. She's inside, but she's a 5'9", 5'10" player. So and again, so I in B North, it'll be Old Town in my estimation against either Caribou or Ellsworth, and Caribou's going to will have the task of trying to beat Ellsworth for a 3rd time.
That's going to be a fun tournament. And the boys, this is the tournament I'm looking for in Class B North. This is the one I'm looking forward to the most, rather. We do have Orono going up to Caribou tonight, which could shake up some seedings depending on who wins and whatnot. But really the top 4 teams have come out to be Ellsworth, Winslow, Old Town, and Orono. Caribou is 6th right now. they could move with a win, and they're pretty strong. But it's for me, it's Ellsworth right now at the top of the pile. They went undefeated last year and lost in the B final, and they really want to get back. Chance Mercier, awesome scorer, has 1,000 points as a junior, which is, with it given the COVID year, I just, him and Izzy Allen, it's just incredible that they.
Yeah, and then,
Have already
you know,
gone there.
and then the Reynolds, kid from Winslow, who's the
Yeah.
all-time leading scorer. So if things play out, you got a real interesting bracket there.
Yeah.
You got Ellsworth Orono in a semi, and you
Yep.
got Old Town Winslow in a semi. That'll be fun.
That would be a whole
Yeah.
lot of fun, because Old Town can defend really well, but Winslow, you mentioned him, Jason Reynolds, I think he had.
Jason Reynolds, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think he had 38 and 19 again the other night, in a win, so he can do it all. And so this, I just can't wait.
You know, Ryan Reynolds is on the brain because he's one of the co-owners of the Wrexham Football Club. And
Yeah.
they have that documentary series.
Yep, that's a good one.
And they just lost in the FA Cup. They
Mhm.
took Sheffield United to stoppage time.
Yeah.
And Sheffield United scored 2 goals in stoppage time to beat Wrexham. But I guess Fox is doing a Wrexham FC series on it. So
Yeah.
and of course, having lived in England for 6 years, and I'm a big soccer fan, so
Yeah,
so I watched some of that game. So it was fun. It was
Yeah.
fun. But yeah, so no, Jason Reynolds is the all-time leading scorer at Winslow. So
Yeah.
So you in your mind, there's not a clear-cut favorite. There's not. They're the team to
Yeah.
beat, and here are the teams that could. You think there's 4 teams?
I really
could
think
win.
that, yeah, I
Okay.
think that.
All right.
I mean, if I were to rank them, I would put Ellsworth first, but Ellsworth Orono in a semi, I think that's a toss-up. I think Old Town Winslow in a semi, that would be a toss-up. I think Winslow and Ellsworth in the final, that's a high-scoring game
Yeah.
in my estimation. So I'm just really looking forward to seeing how it all shapes up. But then you got Foxcroft and Orono in a, quarterfinal there, and anything can happen. And Caribou, I think, could run with Old Town if that were the
That's what we know
6-3.
about-
So,
What do we know about Foxcroft? They've had some pretty good results.
yeah, they've got some really good results. They played Orono close. I watched them a couple weeks
Yeah.
ago at Orono. They've got Caden Crocker, the football superstar that's led them to a couple state
Yeah,
titles.
that would be my thought.
Yeah,
They've got football, good athletes.
Yes.
That are football now, basketball players that are probably
Right.
Leading the way.
yeah, and Coach Toby Nelson talked to me about that he has, the football kids that join the basketball
And the
team. They-
mentality you have state
Exactly, they know
champions,
how to
they know
win.
how to win. So if games get tight down the stretch,
Yeah,
they're gonna
they're not
find a way to
clamping
win, correct? Yep,
exactly.
Yep,
Yeah, and I think that, they know how to win. I think that is a real thing in some regards, and I think that it applies here with that Foxcroft team. So, big moments there. They're ready to go. So that's the class I'm looking forward to, because it's so deep, and Class C North girls.
well, I mean, you look at it, 3 teams with 1 loss. You got Dexter, Penobscot Valley, you got Hodgson.
Yeah.
And then you got Central at 15-3, and then Mattanock with some legitimate bigs at 13-5. I mean, I just think, I mean, it's just, you got Stars, you got Macy Peach from Dexter, you got Anna Oliver from Hodgson, PVHS is Ellie Austin and the Loring sisters. Central, of course, Izzy Allen going to UMaine, having a great year.
Yeah.
That's of all of them, that is, I don't know of any of my other brackets where you think that there's 4 to 5 teams that could win it, and I
Right.
think that's legitimate in C.
Yeah.
And it sounds, I'm sorry to say this, folks, because it's cliche-ish, but the team that plays the best will win it, because there's not much to choose between them. I
Yeah.
mean, it's not like one of them can have an off game and win. They're not.
Right.
They're not. I
'Cause
mean, they're gonna have to
everyone's
play,
too good.
team's gonna have to win 2 or 3 games, play well in all 3 games to win it, just because there's just not a lot.
Yeah, there's no
It's not
give.
like, well, okay, well, if we don't shoot well, we'll defend and we'll win by 6 in a low scoring game. That's not gonna work here.
No.
I mean, you have to play, if you have a bad portion of your game, like if when Dexter plays Hodgson, or Penobscot Valley plays Hodgson, or Dexter plays whatever.
Mhm.
You're not gonna win.
Right.
Because there's so little to choose between them. So it is the team that can be played more consistently will win that C. And like I said, you have 4 that could legitimately win it. And then you got Madanalcook as a strong dark horse in the 5 hole.
Awesome. Yeah. And that region interests me just because of Dexter and Penobscot's defense. They don't allow a lot of
Oh,
points,
my
but then you
goodness,
have Hodgdon with and Oliver and
that just lights it up.
Izzy Allen who can score a bunch. So
Yeah. And the interesting thing, Adam, too, is you got Central, Madanalcook, Penobscot Valley, and Dexter, and they all play each other.
right.
Or they play most of,
Yeah.
then you got Hodgdon, who is from
Exactly.
Aroostook County, and so they come down, they're kind of like Winslow in that Winslow boys, and like they come into this, no one knows, well, we know about them, but they aren't the local, they aren't the teams that they're not on as much on the radar because of their geographic, but they're both very, very good.
Right.
And they haven't played these other teams like you're talking about, Old Town Care, they've all played each other in B boys and girls. But but here you have a Hodgson team that hasn't played. They did play Southern Aroostook. So that was a good test for them. And I believe they played Fort Kent and they're decent. But that's a fascinating component about the tournament because they come from different regions. So so like I said, you got 3 teams again with Dexter, Penobscot Valley, Hodgson with just 1 loss, all 17-1. Then you have Central at 15-3 and Madanalcook at 13-5. So but like I said, that's going to be the most intriguing of and I believe that whichever team wins will be a very good representative in the state game.
Yeah, right.
So anyway, so that's C North girls, C North boys.
Yeah, and this is kind of the opposite here in C North boys. We have Calais at the top, Fort Kent in the 2, and then Dexter in the 3. And those are
3
teams.
regions. So you got 3 different regions. Yeah,
and we've talked about that they haven't seen each other. They don't play similar teams. So we're going to learn a lot here pretty soon, quickly in this Class C tournament. But Calais has, I believe, I don't have it up, but I think they have the best record. Dexter, they have Will Kuzniers. He's going to go to Husson next year. 1,000-point scorer.
Yeah,
they were the North finalist in the C title game last year. Lost to Dirigo. So this is, I think, a pretty open tournament. But if I were to put my money on a team, I think it's just Dexter, just because of how they've played this year. And Will Kuzniers can give you 30 points anytime. Really.
A lot of times too in the tournament, that's what it comes down to the star. If the star elevates or hits, if a star goes off, then that can carry you to a win.
And from what I've read, they've returned a lot of the guys from last year's team. So they also know how to do it, knows what it takes to get there. So but I am interested in this Calais team. They beat Machias in D, and they score a whole lot of points. So
but again, you get into schedule.
Exactly.
They played, where some of these other Dexter has played some B teams too. I would imagine they played Foxcroft.
They play Foxcroft, right?
So I mean, that schedule really has an impact when you're playing good teams. That really helps. Really helps.
100%. All right. D North girls, Larry.
Southern Aroostook Wisdom. Southern Aroostook won up 15-3, the top seed. Wisdom 18-0. Machias had a great season at 15-3, but it's Southern Aroostook and Wisdom. They'll play in the final. I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe Machias can hang with Wisdom. I'm not sure, but there's just those are Southern Aroostook and Wisdom would be very competitive at C. I mean, they'd have a chance to win C. I mean, that was just very, very good. And what will be interesting to see, has Wisdom closed the gap?
Right.
Last year was a pretty comfortable win for Southern Aroostook. Has Wisdom closed the gap? Or will Southern Aroostook's experience and pedigree win out? I mean, 3 state titles in 4 years. You got Madison Russell, you got Cammy Shields, there's 2,000-point scorers. You got 2 other Shields. One's a sister, one's a cousin. They're the team to beat. But Wisdom, again, they've got Lily Roy and they've got just a lot of good players, good athletes, very successful soccer program. So we'll see how that plays out. But I again, Southern Aroostook Wisdom and Southern Aroostook boys are also at the top of the pack.
Top of the pack, you're right, undefeated, number 1 seed in D. And then it's Machias in number 2, and Skank in third, and Bangor Christian in fourth. I think this is just Southern Aroostook and Machias.
Yeah.
Machias beat Bangor Christian, and the second time they played last week by like 50 something points. I
What
don't
was
know.
did he play up here and it was close? You
Yes, I
the
covered
game,
I
right?
covered that game, and
It's
it
like
was really
5 or
close.
6 point game.
Yeah, I don't know if Bangor Christian has like an illness going through the team, or if people were hurt.
Well, see, that's the other thing in the tournament itself.
Yeah,
You know, I mean, you have to, and not just, we're not talking just COVID, but the flu has been nasty.
Yep. Yep.
So again, that plays into this, injuries,
Yep.
sickness.
there's some
But-
luck involved.
But Machias, I remember, I think I covered them 2 or 3 years ago. They were like, they had a bunch of freshmen
Yeah,
that were really good players, and now they're older.
Yeah.
Obviously, and so, yeah, so you're looking Machias, Southern Aroostook.
yeah, I think so. That Shane Feeney, they must have a bunch of guys out for Bangor Christian, because Shane Feeney, great player. He's a 1,000-point scorer. But he had, I think, 28 and 28 in that game. It's just
Yeah.
dominated. So I think it's those two at the top, but it's again different regions, so we'll see
Yep.
how it goes. But I think Southern Aroostook did it last year, and they could very well get there again.
Okay, good.
Again, 5 games each for boys and girls tonight and Friday to
Yeah.
finish it up. and
Heel
then-
points tomorrow.
Yeah.
Can they go on? They should be able to go on the MPA website, shouldn't they? Or
Yeah, I usually at this point, the MPA is pretty quick at putting in the scores and updating it. So tonight you might see them, but definitely tomorrow when
Yeah.
people are slowing down the traffic on the site, you'll be able to get them.
yeah, hockey, in a few hours tonight, Penobscot Pioneers, first-year team from the Bangor area.
Yeah.
They are hosting Winslow,
Right,
the Winslow Co-op team, in the semifinals, for a berth in the Class A North Finals.
yeah,
And the Pioneers have won 13-3-1, I think they, or 14-3-1. They knocked off Chevrolet twice.
Yep.
The South leader, or whoever finished top of the South standing. So, but it should be, they've had 2 close games with Winslow. That's their closest rival. So that should be fun over at Penobscot Ice Arena.
Yeah.
Tonight at 5. Boys Bapst atop again, playing very well.
Yeah.
Very, very well. They're atop the standings. Right now, it would look like Bapst and Mesolonsky. Bapst has 118 heel points, Mesolonsky 109. Bapst won the only regular season game between the two of them, 3-0. But Presque Isle has played Bapst tough twice.
Yeah.
Hamden's good. They got a quality goalie and Aaron Donovan, a good top line, and a very good defenseman. So I mean, but yeah, so that's what's going on. A lot of these teams, because of postponements, are playing like, I think like Baps has like 6 games in 17 days.
Yeah,
It's just
that's
a lot of
crazy.
these high school hockey teams are because you don't have the rink availability. It's not
Right.
like, okay, well, we couldn't play today, so we'll play tomorrow. Well, no, the rink's not available. You gotta wait. So how these teams handle this late season stretch with
Yeah.
all these games backed up, and you're maybe gonna have to play your third and third lines and something, and maybe
Yeah.
play some players, and especially in a blowout situation. So,
Right.
but yeah, so that's coming up. And let's see what else. Geez, we got state cheering tomorrow.
Yeah.
So that should be interesting. Always packed, emotional, passionate. And I can't imagine the pressure. I guess I can, when you look at it, in a situation where you have one routine and you got to
Right.
hit it, you got to stick it. If you don't stick it, you're not winning.
You just
So,
gotta trust
no
everyone.
matter what you did
on the
leading
same
up,
page.
yeah,
Right.
you got to hope everybody can come through. So
Yeah.
that'll be fun tomorrow. I think we got regional swimming or PVC swimming
Yeah.
and stuff. We got
And then
tracks coming up, right?
track conferences are this weekend.
Then we got
Um,
state track coming up in a couple weeks.
Yep.
Yeah,
So we're getting down to it, the fun stuff. So
we are.
we will we'll catch you again probably next week, and thanks for watching.
Yeah, thank you very much. Next Thursday, 55 degrees, folks. 55, not to be confused with 50 below like last Friday. And today it's going to be close to 50. That's a 100-degree turnaround in a week.
Right, we'll take it.
We love Maine, folks.
Yeah,
We love Maine.
It's the
Winter
best.
is Maine's answer to population control. We love it.
exactly. All right, everyone, take care.
Take care.